Hey, this is Bill. Welcome back to the channel. There is one single thing that every person on Earth will one day experience. But strangely, not one person can ever remember it afterward. It is the oldest and biggest mystery of all. What happens when you die? Now let's set aside the scary stuff and look at this scientifically. Step by step from the exact moment the body begins to shut down. For most people, it all begins when the heart can no longer pump. When the heart stops, fresh oxygen stops reaching the rest of the body. Within just a few short seconds, you would lose consciousness completely. At this moment when the heart stops, doctors call it clinical death. But here's the surprising part. Clinical death can sometimes be reversed. With fast CPR or a defibrillator, the heart can sometimes be restarted. So clinical death is not always the final permanent ending. That is because your brain is actually the very last part to go. Brain cells can quietly survive for a few minutes with no oxygen at all. But the brain does not just switch off. Its activity slowly fades away. And in those final moments, something genuinely fascinating seems to happen. Studies have actually recorded a strange surge of brain activity right at death. Some scientists believe this could explain one very famous experience, that eerie feeling of your entire life flashing before your eyes. People who were revived very often describe remarkably similar things. Some who came back described floating up and out of their own body. A few even say they looked down and saw the whole world far below them. And many report drifting through a dark tunnel toward a warm, brilliant light. These are called near-death experiences, and they are surprisingly common. So, are these people actually catching a real glimpse of an afterlife? Well, scientists do have some very down-to-earth explanations for them. The bright light might simply be the eyes and the brain shutting down. The tunnel could be caused by losing blood flow to the edges of your vision. And that deep sense of peace may come from a sudden rush of brain chemicals. Still, being honest, science cannot yet fully explain every single part of it. After roughly 4 to 6 minutes without oxygen, the damage becomes permanent. This is the moment doctors now call true biological death. It is the real point of no return for the physical body. From this point onward, the body very slowly begins to change. First, over several hours, the body gradually starts to cool down. Then the muscles stiffen up in a stage known as rigor mortis. But after many more hours, those same muscles slowly relax once again. On a tiny invisible level, the body's cells begin to break apart. Then tiny bacteria begin the natural, ancient job of recycling everything. These tiny helpers are the very same ones that recycle every fallen leaf. It is the same gentle cycle that has renewed all life for billions of years. It might sound strange at first, but this is a completely natural process. Slowly, over a long time, the body simply returns back to the earth. But here's a genuinely comforting and beautiful scientific fact. Nothing that ever made up your body truly disappears from the universe. Every tiny atom that once formed you simply gets carefully recycled. Those atoms go on to become fresh soil, plants, and brand new living things. In fact, the matter inside you has existed since the very first stars. You are quite literally made of ancient, recycled stardust. The iron in your blood was forged inside a dying star, long, long ago. The water inside you once fell as rain on ancient, long-forgotten lands. In a way, you are the universe itself, briefly waking up to look around. And energy, science firmly tells us, is never actually destroyed. It only ever changes endlessly from one form into another. So in a very real physical sense, you always remain part of the universe. But that still leaves the single biggest question completely unanswered. What about you? Your thoughts, your memories? The feeling of being alive? Scientists can measure your body and your brain in incredible detail, but they still cannot measure what it actually feels like to be you. This mysterious inner experience is what we call consciousness. And when the brain finally stops, we don't know for sure where it goes. Does it simply switch off, like a light being quietly turned out? Or does something about you somehow continue on afterward? This is the exact point where our science reaches its very limit. And this is also where humanity's oldest questions truly begin. Every single culture in all of history has tried to answer this. Some believe in a heaven, a paradise, or a calm and peaceful afterlife. Some believe the soul is gently reborn again into a brand new life. And some believe that our consciousness simply comes to a quiet, gentle end. And science cannot prove, nor can it disprove, any of these beliefs. It is one of the most personal questions a human being can ever ask. So what can we actually say for certain when everything is said and done? We know for sure that the atoms which built you carry on without any end. We know that you are part of a grand cycle that is billions of years old. And we know the memories you leave behind will keep living on in others. The people you loved will quietly carry a small piece of you forward. In that way, a part of you keeps going, long after you have gone. So maybe death is not really a full, final, and permanent stop. Maybe it is simply another transformation, like so many others in nature. Honestly, no one alive today knows the whole answer for absolute certain. And perhaps that very mystery is a part of what makes life so precious. Every single ordinary day you get to have is rare and it truly matters. So instead of fearing the ending, maybe we can simply cherish the story. Because the plain fact that you exist at all, right now, is astonishing. Out of countless billions of possibilities, you gotta be the one who is here. And that, when you really think about it, is a genuinely beautiful thing. You do not need to have every answer to appreciate the gift of being alive. The mystery of the ending is exactly what gives the middle its meaning. So be kind, be curious, and hold the people you love a little closer. None of us ever knows just how long our own story gets to be. So try to make it a story that is truly and genuinely worth telling. The fact that you are here, right now, listening to this, is a small miracle. Because life, however long or short, is a rare and wonderful thing. And that is the one truth that science and heart can both agree on. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a new one. This has been Bill. See you in the next video.